Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving straight into a massive structural pivot. Andhra Pradesh's incredibly ambitious blueprint to become India's most competitive manufacturing and innovation economy by the year 2035. We're going to unpack exactly how they plan to make this happen. So, how exactly does a state make that leap? How do you transition from a traditional economy to a global industrial powerhouse? Well, it takes a complete rethink. We're going to look at a fascinating new blueprint, inspired by World Bank approaches, that completely redefines what economic growth actually looks like on the ground. Here is our agenda for today. First, the new industrial ecosystem. Second, AP strategic growth clusters. Third, the AI workforce transition. Fourth, startups and global trade. And finally, the 2035 policy roadmap. Section 1, the new industrial ecosystem. Moving away from the subsidy era. To really grasp this blueprint, we have to understand a major paradigm shift. For a long time, the old strategy was just a heavy dependence on subsidies and short-term tax holidays to lure businesses in. But the new strategy? It's about building long-term, self-sustaining industrial ecosystems rooted in skills, tech, and solid infrastructure. It's a total game changer. You aren't just offering cheap land anymore. You're offering an environment where businesses can actually thrive over the long haul. And honestly, the timing here is absolutely crucial. Look at these global drivers pushing this transformation right now. You've got supply chain diversification with the China Plus One strategy, the massive global semiconductor race, huge, sweeping advancements in artificial intelligence, the global push for green manufacturing, and of course, India's own larger manufacturing ambitions. The window of opportunity is wide open, and the state has to act fast to capitalize on all of this momentum. Section 2, AP's Strategic Growth Clusters, Mapping the Geography of Future Industries. What's really fascinating here is the physical mapping of this new ecosystem. They aren't just dropping generic factories at random. They are building highly specialized growth clusters based on geography. The Visakhapatnam is targeting AI, defense, and shipbuilding. Amaravati is focusing on startups, government's tech, and electronics. Down in Anantapur, it's all about electric vehicles and auto components. Kakinada is perfectly positioned for petrochemicals and green hydrogen, while Tirupati targets electronics and medical devices. It is a super intentional, highly strategic zoning plan. But here's the reality check. Having a long coastline, multiple ports, and a young population, that's fantastic, but it's not a magic wand. The blueprint honestly acknowledges current challenges like skill mismatches and the migration of talent. If you don't have the specialized skills needed for those distinct clusters we just talked about, the whole thing stalls out. You absolutely need the right people. Section 3, the AI workforce transition, engineering the talent of tomorrow. Which brings us to the absolute linchpin of this entire blueprint. As this quote points out, the challenge is no longer just attracting industries alone. It's about creating an ecosystem where industries, innovation, education, logistics, and governance reinforce one another. Basically, human capital and education have to be totally intertwined with industry. Attracting a factory means nothing if you can't staff it with a workforce ready for tomorrow's tech. Now, this is where it gets really exciting. Just look at the priorities for this skill development revolution. We're talking about a massive, aggressive pivot toward upskilling workers for advanced manufacturing. The focus is squarely on artificial intelligence, robotics and industrial automation, semiconductors, mechatronics, and precision manufacturing and drones. I mean, this is the core of the blueprint. To make these high-tech clusters succeed, they literally have to engineer a workforce that speaks the language of AI and robotics fluently. So how do they actually pull off this massive AI and robotics training transition? They laid out a concrete three-step pipeline. Step 1, develop industry design curriculums. That means the companies actually dictate what skills they need. Step 2, facilitate global internships and university partnerships so students get real-world global exposure. And step 3, establish dedicated skill universities to lock it all in. It's an incredibly pragmatic way to close that skills gap directly. And why does this specific focus matter so much? Because empowered human capital is the foundation that allows local startups and global trade networks to thrive. Once you have a workforce deeply trained in things like semiconductors, mechatronics, and AI, they become the vital engine that supercharges the whole local economy and drives global exports. It all starts with the people. Section 4, Startups and Global Trade, Building the Economic Engines.
Okay, so you have this incredibly skilled AI-ready workforce. Now you need strong businesses to employ them. The state has mapped out specific support interventions for MSMEs and startups to help them plug into the larger global supply chain. We're talking supplier development programs, innovation grants and incubators, export accelerators, help with digital manufacturing transformation, and even patent support through university innovation centers. It's all designed to give local innovators the specific tools they need to compete on the world stage.
And to physically get those local products out to the world, they are heavily leveraging their massive coastline, which is actually the longest in India after Gujarat. The plan focuses on port-led industrialization, dedicated freight corridors, and multimodal logistics and air cargo. They're also expanding the blue economy, think marine biotech and seafood, alongside advanced warehousing and cold chains. This kind of robust infrastructure seamlessly connects those highly skilled startups right directly to global markets. Section 5, the 2035 Policy Roadmap, 10 Missions to Transform the State. To tie this whole ecosystem together, the roadmap outlines 10 very specific policy missions. Under Industry and Growth, you have Mission Industrial AP 2035 and sector-specific megaclusters. For talent and innovation, there's an Industrial Skill Mission, an Innovation Fund, and a University Industry Network. Trade and Sustainability gets a Global Export Promotion Agency and a Green Manufacturing Mission. And for governance, they're pushing MSME digital transformation, an investment dashboard, and an industrial performance index. It is a completely synchronized machine designed to work all at once. Ultimately, the massive takeaway from this explainer is this. The real opportunity here is shifting away from that old incentive-driven industrialization and moving toward true ecosystem-driven development. Building a self-sustaining ecosystem driven by a highly skilled, future-ready workforce is exactly how you generate sustainable employment, boost your exports, and raise living standards across the board. If they can execute this, especially that incredibly vital AI and robotics workforce transition, the foundation for something truly huge is there. Which leaves us with one final thrilling question to ponder about the future of global manufacturing. Will Andhra Pradesh merely participate in India's growth story, or by 2035 will it completely lead it? The blueprint is clear. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep questioning how the future is being built around you.